it. Like, I'm too distracted.
All right, here we go.
Straight from the realm of all things gaming, Everything Noob starts now.
Welcome to the 106th episode of the Everything Noob podcast. I'm Vortak, YouTuber of video games, and soon, once again, player of Little Big Planet 3. I'm so excited. And tonight, joining me...
I'm Jemmy. I pedal tablet crack.
Still?
Yeah, oh my gosh. No, still addicted. Everybody, all day, every day, still on that app. It's bad. Like, I feel so guilty that I stole their lives for over a week on a freemium game.
Don't.
And I'm Dreadlow, and I've started streaming.
Finally.
I did one stream for 7 hours.
Oh my god.
Playing World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a 7-hour stream. And I'm going to do it probably
What level
tomorrow.
did you get to?
I'm at 65 right now.
Off that one stream?
No. That stream I probably gained... Oh, with that one, I'm almost 20
Wow.
in 7 hours. That's not really good.
You should try triple
because I
XP.
played a brand new character.
I was going to say, yeah.
I played a brand new area. I didn't know anything or anywhere or anybody. So I got on there and I just completely went by this guide. And it took me to everywhere I needed to go. So, and then the expansion came out and kind of
Ruined everything.
Did you hear
Ruined everything.
that, like, the one owner of the subreddit about WoW was so mad that he couldn't log on that as a protest, until he could log back onto WoW, he took the subreddit down.
Oh my god.
what?
I know.
Talk about temper
It was
tantrum.
like, I know. Be a little baby harder, please.
Well, we should. I want to like talk about that now. You got me all wow amped, but we have so much more to get to. The theme of tonight's show. We have a theme every week, and the theme for tonight's show is early access games. We are going to be discussing based off of a fun little statistic I found, and also a little bit more about Goat Simulator. There's an update on that, and we will finally wrap
That's
things
also
up.
on tablet.
Yeah, I saw that.
And also, what were we going to talk
I'm
about?
so tempted to buy
AAA,
it.
Some new releases coming up.
AAA patches. Were we going to talk about that too?
AAA patches.
Or we said how they're not patching enough.
Ah,
But yet the early access are still in early access. Anyway, that'll be a discussion in the show, but that's all kind of part of it, I think.
yes. So
Right? Yeah.
let me just throw this statistic at you guys and the fine people here listening to the show, because this is really interesting. It turns out that there's a huge rise in early access games, but only about 25% actually end up releasing a full game. And we're gonna
That seems about right.
We're going to link an article to it here in the show notes, and you guys can go check this out. There's a lot of different like charts and graphs to analyze if you wish to pick this apart. But it just kind of, I mean, you say it seems about right. I don't know. I'm not shocked by that, but just seeing the numbers there, like thinking about a quarter of all the games that end up in early access, only a quarter of them get released, which means 3/4 of these games get to take all this money and then they get to just stop. And that's kind of shocking.
Is that what the statistic is saying, that these developers, they just stop development on them?
It mentions prices
I think
and
they
things
just
like
kinda
that.
Steam
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, there's early access games on Steam right now that are free, which is great. But a lot of early access games, and this article is talking about the ones, I think it really focuses on the ones that try to get money from the start so they can continue growing their game and getting funded at the same time.
It's kind of the point of early access, It's to kind of help the developer develop faster
Yeah, exactly.
and get the game out. Sure.
But even with like actual developers that are funded by a board and in a big company, like only a small percentage of those games actually make it to final release. So now we're just seeing that statistic pushed forward with crowdsourced funding with early access and like being indie and like small teams that are sometimes can be demotivated or just get too busy. Like the failure rate is actually even higher. So I'm surprised it's actually even 25% that make it to final release.
So you're saying the failure rate has more factors than just people taking money and running away?
Oh, no. Yeah, I think most people who go to early access would pay. I would say most of them have genuine intention of finishing the project, but most of them do not have what it takes to finish, or just they lack the interest, or they can't get the audience interested, basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because customer support when you have a buggy product, and that's early access, is very, very time consuming, which helps you because you know the bugs. But then there's also, like, you have to promote your product. And that's taking time away from development, too.
Well, yeah, that goes kind of back into the Yogscast thing where they didn't want to promote the game because it wasn't what they wanted. And they didn't want to, push it because it didn't look the way they wanted it to look when they were pushing it. So they shot themselves in the foot because these guys couldn't get their funding. No one was helping them out. And then Yogscast was like, well, this looks like crap, so, or whatever, I wasn't there. I'm just paraphrasing, but I can only imagine if they weren't willing to promote it. That's what they said. We didn't want to promote it. That's not going to grow your game. So it just kind of reminded me of that. Like, that was a big one. People donated thousands and thousands of dollars to that project.
Oh yeah, I was kind of disappointed with Rust. It's
At least they gave
access.
freebies back, though.
Yeah, they did something.
The Yogscast. Sorry, Deadlo.
Yeah, they did. Actually, then there's still kind of. I got to check my email. I might have something new. I don't know. Because they said they had more. Yeah, they said they had more to give. So
we are so sorry. We screwed up so bad.
Yeah,
that's the right thing to do, though.
It is. I just think that going about it originally that way was wrong, but they are making up for it, which it's good. It's good they're doing something, and it doesn't make them scumbags because they didn't like take the money and say, well, haha, screw you. You lose.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of these guys, though, just take the money and then you never see them again.
The disappointment for me, was for Rust because of the fact that, it was an early access game, and then they stopped development on it and decided to start all over. It's slowly coming along, though, but I mean, now we have to wait longer, and I originally backed, it wasn't a backing, it wasn't like on Kickstarter or nothing like that. They had their own little weird thing that they had going on as far as collecting donations and stuff for the game.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. What do they call that? It was a
Dutch
auction or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I mean I was one of those that funded that, and I just was really
you were
disappointed.
watching that hard.
I know. I got it for like $20.
They got a lot of game sales off that auction. They had a nice chunk of money to help them out. So I don't know. There's a lot of factors that go into early access games, and a lot of them, flopping. But I don't know. I don't want to come at it with a totally negative perspective. It's just a lot of people. I get really wrapped up in Steam comments. I don't know if you ever take the time to read reviews on Steam. But
I make sure that before I buy a game, I read those and see what people think.
I get really wrapped up in some of the games I find that are early access. If they have a lot of negative reviews, I'll be like, what happened? And I'll read them, and people are like, these guys took the money and they ran away, and now we're never going to see our game. And so they just they make these people look like these monsters. And now I'm thinking, wow, what assholes. And it just takes me a bit to step back and go, okay, well, these are just people angry. I didn't buy the game, so what do I care,
I would take that with a grain of salt, and then I would also go and look on their last update that they pushed, the date of that, and see if you can't dig deeper and find the update before that. If they consistently are pushing an update out every week, and then suddenly they haven't put guys, this has to go on hold for 2 months because I'm going out of the country, but I will resume once I get back, or something like that, then it's probably done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only example I can really think of right now is Tug, because I'm kind of waiting on that one. And I really enjoy it so far. I've enjoyed playing it on my channel. The people watching it on my channel are really having fun with it. But I've learned that their next update, or a few updates from now, they're going to start messing with the way you alter the terrain, and that's going to require you to make a whole new world. And I talked about it before, how I don't want to make a whole new world when I'm trying to build this one town and stay focused in this one world. So I put the series on hold, and they said that in October, towards the end of October, they're going to get multiplayer, and we still don't have it, and I'm starting to worry. But they're really approachable people. Like, you can go on the forums and on their Twitter. They've been awesome to me and my channel, like promoting the videos and stuff.
If they're talking to you, then the project's still on.
Yeah.
Be worried when they disappear.
Yeah. I guess that's a better way of looking at it.
Excuse me. I see, Planet Explorers is one of them. I haven't seen an update in a long time. Now I'm kind of getting concerned because it's a good game. You know, I really want to see some updates here. But they haven't updated in a long time, and so I'm kind of concerned. They'll probably pop up with a message, hey, sorry, we've been busy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, you know, they were consistent with getting an update out every month, and then they just kind of like stopped.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Do you worry when an early access game goes from paid to free? Is that like concerning?
An early access game?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example?
Unturned.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Unturned just went from, I don't even remember how much it was, but I know it wasn't free because I thought about it. I'm like, oh, that looks fun. Some of my friends had it. I'm like, maybe I'll pick it up sometime. But it was early access.
Was the intent of the game to go free eventually and subsist on microtransactions in the future?
I'm not positive. Maybe someone in chat who's played it can tell me. Because I was just seeing it. Like, I saw a few friends of mine do videos on it. And I saw friends of mine playing it and asking me if I was going to get it. I'm like, maybe. You know, it seems kind of weird right now and, you know, very early. Excuse me.
I mean, if that wasn't their original intent to go free, yeah, I would be definitely worried. Like, because to me that says they've given up. And they're just like, there's enough there for people to enjoy and they're enjoying it. So I'll just let them have it.
Yeah, it looks like they have a paid DLC coming out at some point, or it's out now. Buy the Unturned Permanent Gold Account Upgrade. So it looks like that's kind of what they're doing. They're microtransactions, essentially.
So you can have a premium service or the free one and buy microtransactions or something like that.
Buy tokens to continue in these levels.
See, what my concern is like we pay for the early access. We pay money, and then they go free, and then you're like, okay, so I just paid to play early? Is that all I paid for?
Yeah.
And so I ace out on all those microtransactions that, you know, it should be like if you paid for the game originally, you should be like, they should give you a bunch of stuff.
Definitely some huge perks. Like, if you pay for a microtransaction, you get like at least half off.
Oh, I have a story about microtransactions. I saw a tweet today.
Oh no.
You're going to love this. For the new Assassin's Creed game, you can spend €1, which I guess that's obviously worth more than $1.
Essentially.
I got those in my pocket.
It's more than $1.
No,
but
€1 will get you 3 minutes of extra health.
What?
Yep. The guy took a screenshot of his menu playing Assassin's Creed Unity. €1, 3 minutes of more health. Not even invincibility. More health.
Wow. That's weird.
Jeremy's mind is melting.
How is this in a full release title? I'm about to fucking rage.
I'm going to spend $60 on this game. Yeah.
You see, that's another thing.
Nope.
Another thing that's a concern too is that these early access, they'll make a game, and then you'll have the microtransactions. I mean, like stuff like the Assassin's Creed, you know, giving you extra health and stuff. You pay, how much is it? Like $60 for the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $60 for this game, and what my concern is, I don't think you were able to mod Assassin's Creed, were you ever?
I don't think so.
See, this is the thing. This could lock out modding eventually. You know, a lot of these developers might say, "Hey, we can make some extra money. Let's lock modding, no more modding on our game, and then just sell stuff to add to the game." And then that's my concern with some of these games that allow modding, is they do something like that.
It's the what do you call it? I got distracted by chat.
That was a good comment. You know it.
Yes. You guys need to
We
join
all
us
would pay
live.
for that.
We're live every Monday night, twitch.tv/noobs,
Yeah.
10 p.m. Eastern. And you guys can get in on the chat jokes. We won't tell you what, because you didn't show up tonight. How's that?
Yeah.
Because we're jokes. No, the Assassin's Creed, it's just a cheat code, basically what you're paying for. It's not even a mod. You know, I see what you're saying, though. You could very well do that, but Assassin's Creed isn't one for modding. But yeah, paying for a cheat code, a rather expensive one.
That's basically what it is. Yeah.
It's just, it's shameful. I didn't even realize that Ubisoft was going to try to put microtransactions in a game like that. We talked, I think it was last week, I talked about Trials HD, or not Trials HD, Trials, whatever it was for the iPhone.
The mobile version, yeah.
Yeah, and I said, it's a really fun game. You can do a lot, even though it has microtransactions that are kind of crappy. You can do a lot for it, or in it for free, without spending anything. I haven't spent anything, and I've played through tons of levels, and it's been a lot of fun. So, you know, I just didn't see that coming with Assassin's Creed, for God's sakes.
I've been playing Summoner's Wars, and I can't tell you how many hours I've dumped into that, and I've not spent a dime on it. And same with all my friends. I mean, you can play it all day, every day, and it's a microtransaction game. But because it was made in Korea, like, the ads, there's actually a little button that says, "Do not show me this ad anymore today." So for a 24-hour cycle, it's gone.
Huh.
Wow.
So, for the most part, ad free. And then like the packages are like certain packages you can only buy once a week. Some you can only buy once a day. And it doesn't even really harass you to make purchases either. Not like, hey, if you buy now, no, you don't see it.
Yeah.
So it's like a full game.
That's good. You know, that's if you're
You
going to
don't
make
get
a free
text
game,
messages?
do it right.
Yeah.
You don't get text messages
I'm like
saying,
totally behind it. I'll promote that game all day because they did it the right way.
you don't get text messages saying, "We miss you. Will you come back?" Or, "Oh,
Hey,
you
Dad.
played too much to even get there yet."
I do get push notifications, but it's usually like, hey, all your energy's full. Come back and spend it. Which is like, it'll take me forever to get through all that energy. That's like over an hour of gameplay on a tablet game. And so it's like, oh, I get that push notification that it's full, and I'm like, how tiresome.
Hey, guy, you got new buddies,
Better
guy.
use the autoplay button. No, well, there's actually an autoplay button where it'll go faster, and it's like an hour with the fast, like, ×3 autoplay. Because, like, there's dungeon grinds, and you can have the AI choose to do the battle for you, or you can manually do it yourself.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Well,
it's pretty
there's a right way.
extensive.
Yeah, there's a right way and a wrong way to do free games and freemium games. Another example of an MMO that just popped up on Steam for me. It was like, I forgot what it was called. It's just on the front page of Steam for me today. I'll try to find it here. But basically, it was an MMO that was free. I'm like, okay, this looks interesting. Kind of similar to like World of Warcraft graphics. And it wants you to, I guess, I was reading the reviews, which were like mostly negative, I think. And one of the big ones that was sitting there was this guy talking about the pros and cons, and he said, you know, this and that it's kind of cool, it's nice, but the biggest problem he had with it was the fact that traveling was almost impossible. They made it so the roads were hazardous. Like, you know, most MMOs you walk on a road and there's no mobs that attack you.
And that's a safe spot.
Yeah. Well, in this game, you just get constantly attacked, and they encourage you a lot to fast travel, which costs money. So
of course,
oh,
it's like
that's cheap, and that's cheating.
Yeah, they beat you into into paying for their game.
Why not just make the world massive, and then it just takes a long time? So, if you're really patient and you have the patience, you'll walk it. But most people will be like, no, I'm not walking across the planet.
Heroes and Villagers, that was it, something like that. But
or you'll pay for a horse.
Exactly. Charge me real money for things that are going to make me want to, you know, keep playing the game. Not, I fast traveled today. It cost me $5, and now I don't know how much it cost, but it cost me $5.
That would be so expensive.
And here I am. Crap! I forgot something in that last area. That
kind of like that's why I like WoW, because I mean they have their little like mounts and stuff like that you can buy, but for the most part right now they have garrisons. You can build up your own garrison and put whatever in there, and see, if it was a free to play game you'd have to pay for those things, you know, because that would be the pull, right? They would get you into the game. They go, okay, well you can have your own garrison too, but you have to buy the buildings and stuff. And then you microtransaction your whole garrison. Whereas WoW ain't going to do that because you're paying for premium. You're paying $14.99 a month. You pay for the expansion, whatever, and you get all that. But you just got to earn it in game. That's all.
Yeah, obviously you need money to make games. You need money to keep servers online. No one's going to get mad if you need to charge for something, but do it right.
Yeah.
Like, come on, look at Guild Wars. Guild Wars did it right. Guild Wars 2. They charge for cosmetic things and a few other things, and people they're still online.
But
yeah,
you have to pay to get into that game. Like you have to buy the disc.
True. Yeah. There's an initial
so they at least recoup that cost.
Yeah.
So what they're and I kind of like that model, because what they're doing is they're charging you for the game, and then the microtransactions just help with server costs because the game's already paid for. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess that's the way WoW is too, but instead of microtransactions, they have the premium.
Well, Smite and League of Legends just charged for cosmetic things and new characters to buy.
Oh, they get money just from advertisement, though. I mean, they're so big, Yeah. League of Legends is like, so they get
they
all
have nothing
kinds
to
of,
worry about. But
no.
Anyway,
they give money away. They give money away for contests and stuff. They get sponsors and everything else. So yeah.
The microtransactions.
I don't know how we got into microtransactions.
Yeah, exactly. Like early access games, microtransactions. It's still kind of in the same realm, though. I mean, you're just seeing a lot of early access games try different ways to get some startup cash. Maybe they can't get the funding off Kickstarter or something like that. And like, we'll go early access, and we'll try it this way.
I think Kickstarter is just so spread out now. I mean, it was okay back in the day, but now it's so big that it's hard to, like, if you look up games, you're going to have thousands of games that you can actually donate to, whereas before it was just a handful. So I think people kind of went away from that.
Yeah, I've seen Indiegogo gets a lot of people now. The gamers have adopted Indiegogo quite a bit, which is cool. I mean, I'm all for new games, getting money and even early access. But nowadays with early access and reading an article like this saying 25% only get made into full games, I'm kind of thinking maybe I will wait on most early access games, even though the price is going to go up. At least by the time it does go up, it'll be worth it and it'll be complete.
Well, you have to remember that just a little while ago, those early access games were considered beta or alpha, and you were able to play them for free. You know what I mean? If you got invited to beta test it. You know what I'm saying? So now what they've done is, hey, why don't we just charge for early access for alpha or beta? And to help promote our game and fund it. But
Welcome
I don't
to
know.
the modern era. We nickel and dime for everything.
It's true.
Yeah.
But there's also another side topic to discuss here. Dreadlo was bringing it up earlier. And I've just been seeing people kind of get upset with some of the new releases. Just in general, just any new release seems to have something wrong with it these days. And it kind of makes you think, back in the day when you had Nintendo 64 and you got Mario, you never found a bug with Mario that made the game broken or anything like that. You could probably find a glitch here and there, but you're not going to find like a game-breaking bug or anything like that because there were game testers who, for hours on end, would test the game and make sure there's nothing wrong with it. And nowadays, because we can push patch updates, you're finding games come out, these giant AAA titles, and they're full of bugs, and there's all these problems. Like Assassin's Creed Unity had a bunch of problems, I guess, that people were picking on Twitter. There was like weird screenshots of things, and it's frustrating because you just spent $60 on this game, and it's a massive release. There's no reason it should have these problems, but we can get away with it now. I mean, what do you guys think of that?
Well, the code is a lot bigger and more complex. The world's 3D. You have tons of buttons on the new controller, so there's lots of ways to input, interact with the game, and lots of different areas with different triggers. So it's more complex, so there is going to be more bugs, and it will be harder to unearth all of the bugs from just the testers. But I do think they have definitely gotten lazier, because I've noticed the turnaround time on development has gotten a lot faster, and I think that's because we really cut down on beta testing when we shouldn't be.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, I know you buy a game like I give an example like Witcher or games like that. They're already completed and fleshed out. They've been tested and everything else, and they're pretty much perfect. I mean, with the exception of maybe some slight bugs that they've discovered later on, or hardware has progressed, so they need to progress in, like for instance, I was just messing around with Warcraft 3. I mean, that was a complete game a long time ago, but what they've done is when you go on to Warcraft 3, immediately Battle.net will download a patch that upgrades it to where it'll work on newer computers and give you higher resolution, which, obviously that's a reasonable patch.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of these games have bugs and bugs and bugs, crawling around in them. and they have to patch, every so often there's a patch, or they don't patch, and you got to sit there and wait for them to fix it. Call of Duty is a great one. Call of Duty Black Ops it was so buggy, it wasn't even funny. I couldn't play it. There's no way I could play it. It took them a good 6 months before they came out with a decent patch that fixed things, and it worked.
Yeah.
Finally worked. But I mean that was also considered a port too. So it was a port from
who
Xbox.
There is to blame for that too. It's not even the game developers that are to blame when I think about it, really. It's the
true.
people who own the game developers and the game developing companies. The
producing companies,
they
the board?
Yeah. Just money hungry CEOs and business people who don't understand anything but money, and they say, we want this game and we want it now. And they're like, well, we need about 6 months to do this. What?
Yeah.
A lot of them don't play games. They're business majors.
Exactly.
Who
they don't have time.
Come from wealth, and they continue to be in wealth, and it's a company that makes money, so they got on the board.
No, exactly. I mean, I'll give you another great example, real life example. When I used to work grocery, I used to work overnights in a grocery store, and I had to stock the shelves. And every few months, a report would come out for my foreman to pass on to me and everyone else, talking about how to stock the shelves and just different techniques and things like that. But all of them talked about how we need to go faster. And it was just faster, faster, faster. You need to be, moving this fast. Because what they wanted to do was cut down the amount of people they're paying, and they paid us a ton of money. And yeah, they want it to be faster, faster, faster. And I'm sitting there like, have they ever stocked a shelf in their life? Because this is not possible. You can't knock out all this freight in 30 minutes. Like, you have 2 pallets full of canned goods, and they wanted it done in 45 minutes.
Yeah, and you got there's quotas and stuff.
Tiny little cans. The aisles have to look pristine. And I mean, it's the same thing. If you're a game developer, you probably struggle with this all the time. If you're for a AAA company like Ubisoft, you're like, oh my God, they want the next Assassin's Creed game out in 1 year, and we are still working on Unity.
1 year, and it needs to make at least $1
billion
and a half times the amount of money the last game earned.
Yeah.
And then the producers, they blame the developers. See, so it's just a constant battle there.
Yeah. And again, this brings us back to why I am such a huge advocate for indie games. And I don't mind if an indie game goes and charges more money. I don't mind if an indie game has early access, as long as we get, a product out of it or what have you. So I'm very careful, but a lot of people are starting to learn they need to be more careful, which hurts the indie developers because they can't get any funding because everyone's being so damn careful.
Yeah, because they're afraid of this 25%, success rate. You know what I mean?
So are we proposing a movement where you shouldn't go early access until you're what, like 50% through beta? Or don't buy in until they're 50% through beta?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the answer. If you go back to, again, real life examples, think about, let's say you want to open a restaurant. And in order to open your restaurant, you need to offer a menu you think people are going to come and enjoy. You need to find a good location for it. And you need to have people who are either investing in you, or you can save up a bunch of money for years on end and then open it yourself, get a bank loan. There's always someone you have to impress. But it's kind of the same thing. You need to have some sort of backing with an indie game. So you could either go and get investors. You could save up a bunch of money and quit your day job and just work full-time on that game because you saved up a bunch of money. These are all options, it's easier to just go early access and get all these people to... But you can't go early access with a restaurant. You can't beta test a restaurant.
You can do demos.
Well, I mean, you could.
Whatever happened
but it wouldn't be a good idea.
Demos?
Oh,
yeah. Just demo the game. I remember back in the day, there was what they call shareware. Basically you share it with your friends. And it was kind of a complete game, but it wasn't, because there was so much more to explore in the game that you were playing. But in order to get that, you'd have to buy the full version. So you'd get this game, which you could play through, and it was fine. There was, one of them is Duke Nukem 3D. There was Doom. You didn't get the full version of the game, but you felt like it was complete when you were done because you went through everything. But there was so much more, and at the end, they give you this advertisement saying, if you want more of this, come to our website, or and order it and buy and pre-order or whatever. We're working on the game and we need funding, and this would really help. They could put out some kind of demo like that so that at least people get a taste of the game, and then at the same time, they could save up their money to buy it eventually when it comes out, or they can pre-order it, and have, we got pre-orders all the time. Look at Warlords of Draenor did a pre-order, they offered, this level 90 boost, if you bought a pre-order. They could offer something. People can get funding that way. That makes a little bit more sense, and then you won't be kind of fearful that you're going to not see a game. Maybe.
Well, Excel in chat is jumping in with demos became not so economically viable due to too much time and money pressures.
Oh. See, he's an expert.
I love demos. You don't understand how many games I've actually bought because I ended up playing the demo and fell in love. And nothing makes me more furious than buying a game because I got sold into their lies and then booting it in and then realizing it's not what they advertised, or worse yet, doesn't work. It's like, point. Well, now I'm stuck with this garbage that I didn't want.
Yeah.
I have to give you a bad review.
That's the worst, though. Maybe the answer is before a certain point, when a game is early access and they're still putting out updates, maybe don't let people review it yet. Somehow. Like, let's tell Steam develops a system where an early access game needs to be at this percentage of complete before reviews are open. You could still review it other ways, just maybe not on Steam.
I don't think that's fair, though, because I think the reviews are good for people who are like, oh, here's a game that's still listed on there as active. And then the reviews and the customers who are unhappy because development stopped, they'll usually be the top comment and top review. And so you'll know, well, no, I need to steer away from this because unless I'm happy with just what's there, I'm not getting any more.
Or they could put a timer on the early access game that turns off reviews. So they go to the developer and say, okay, at what point do you think you'll be releasing the next patch? And they say, the next patch is coming out November 2014, in the middle of the month, somewhere around there. And Steam goes, okay, once we hit November 15th, 2014, comments are going to open up. If you haven't put out a patch, you better hope that people are going to like your game because, comments are open. And that way, if people have been waiting forever for an update, now they can finally speak and go, hey, there's been no update. We were promised one. Now there's not.
So you're talking about like a development relay where it's like you have to beat the clock. Like
Yeah.
we project that it's going to take us this long to get to the next update. And
Well, now
if they don't make their goal, then now it's open to review and people are going to be like, "Hey, they're not updating and this game is really bad."
we're just back to the same old thing, though. That's what we were talking about. Producers do to developers all the time.
Yeah,
they
but
put
it's
time
not,
restraints on them.
Steam isn't saying we're going to pull your game from our thing.
Right.
They're just
They
saying,
can still have it there.
yeah. It's just reviews hurt the most in a lot of cases. I think a lot of people say, oh, I don't even read reviews, whatever. I don't know about that, though.
I
Like,
always.
I always read reviews. Yeah. It's just,
Yeah.
I think especially with Steam makes it easy. You scroll down. There's other things, though. If you went and bought Assassin's Creed or you were thinking about it, you'd have to go to all these different websites before going to the store and picking it up. But if it's only available on Steam, it's easy enough to see the reviews. I think a lot of people read them, and they hold a lot of weight, especially now Steam has that thing on the side that says, reviews, very positive, or mostly positive, mostly negative. You know, it has that little
Yeah,
scale.
now they got
And then it makes you want to
slash
scroll
100.
down and see, well, what are people saying? So it just, and reviews can really, here's another real life example. Restaurants on Yelp. If you look up any restaurant on Yelp, think of your favorite restaurant, look it up on Yelp, mostly negative reviews of people who had one bad experience and they're pissed. And so they want to say something about the restaurant. If you have a good experience at a restaurant, you're getting what you expected, so there's no reason to praise them. So there's less praise on Yelp than there is negativity.
Ah, I see what you
Here's
mean.
the
Yeah,
thing
that's true.
with reviews. The most people who review are people who are perpetual reviewers. I review everything in my life because it's just like I want to be a critic. Those people, the people who had an amazing experience and need to share it, are the people who had a terrible experience. Most people are not going to be 3-star reviews. So here's what you need to do to be a smart reviewer. Go look at the graphic chart, the bar graph, where it like shows you the scale of like satisfied customers, 5 stars versus 1 stars especially, and look at 1 stars to 2 stars. If you see a huge amount of 1 stars over 2 stars, then you probably want to steer clear from it because there's something bad going on. And
I do that with
the
apps
5 stars
on my
are either,
Android.
oh yeah, and then but the best reviews to read are the people who genuinely just put 3 stars. Read what they have to say because usually they'll have 1 positive thing to say and 1 negative thing. Because they're in the middle of the road, so they're going to be most honest review.
I like the reviews that have pros and cons, or they have pros and then they have cons. I love those kind of reviews because
So
it gives me
Oh, I know.
an
I
idea.
look for that one, like, tedious guy
Yeah.
who's like, I'm going to give you the full rundown in, like, 3 paragraphs.
Or they're trying to show that they're not totally negative because they're about to be super negative. And that's what I found. The con
Yeah.
list usually outweighs the pro list if they put it on a negative review.
If I'm reviewing something, if the product or app or whatever, if it ran and worked or was complete, I try to say what was good about it, and then I give a detailed, not trying to smash it apart, like, here's what was wrong with it for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't all names or, like, blow it out of proportion when I write a negative review, and I'm like, this is why it didn't work, and this is why it was bad for me.
Yeah, in chat, Dark Waters brings up a good point. Dark Waters brings up a good point. He says, nowadays it's impossible to tell which reviews are posted by game makers themselves.
Yeah,
And that
that's true
happens.
too.
I've seen stuff on Amazon like that has tons of positive reviews, but it's only been there like a day, and it's like this obscure thing, and it's like a guy got all his friends together, and then there's a couple people who are speaking out and going, "This is no, this is awful." Like if it's a book, it has spelling errors, it has this. That was another example.
Yeah.
There was a book on Amazon, and I was looking at the reviews, and people were like, "No, this is not a good. No, don't buy this." That wasn't even edited. So it happens. People want their product reviewed highly. Reviews are important, but maybe for early access games, for things that the developer themselves is saying there's going to be bugs, and people yet still have to review it and say, I found bugs. And it's the same ones the developer said, expect to see the following bugs, and we're working on them. And that they could say that, and the people would still go, I found the following bugs, and it would be the same exact ones.
You know, I don't have a huge problem with that, especially if it's been a long time since they posted, here's the bugs, and then from the day they made that review, like say a couple of months, and they still haven't fixed the problems, and they're big problems. Like these bugs are still here. I kind of like those reviews because it shows that the developers aren't moving on this project, which is also another red flag. Probably not going to finish.
You know what else the developers can do? And I know that Prison Architect is a great example because every time they come out with a patch, they have a video and they show the bugs that they had and then how they fixed them and then the things they added. They're constantly putting videos out. And that would be a great idea if developers would actually, because I've seen it. We've seen it with, we're going to talk about this right now, Goat Simulator, the Goat MMO Simulator. What have they done? They put a video, they got everything all ready, and then in 3 days it's going to release and we're going to be able to get it. If they were to have like a show what they've got so far on a video before they actually offer it, then maybe people can watch the video and say, you know what, I think I could like this. I would like this game, and then that way people wouldn't be so scared to just jump into something like that. If there was some kind of a video showing somebody playing the game, then rather than a trailer. I get sick of these trailers that are CGI that have nothing to do with the game whatsoever. They're just showing the storyline of the game. I'm going, this ain't going to help me buy the game. I've seen a perfectly CGI'd out, nice story and everything in a trailer. I bought the game and it's like,
Pixels.
2D pixelated. I'm going, what? This has nothing to do with the, you know what I mean? So, but an actual gameplay video before they actually bring it out on early access, because I know that they can. The Greenlight is a great example. They can greenlight their game, but a lot of them don't have video or gameplay. They just have like a trailer. Like they made a trailer of like bits and pieces of the game. But if they actually have like the developer actually playing the game and talking about the game that they made,
yeah.
Because Prison Architect's a great example. That's what these guys do.
What's wrong, Jimmy? Why does Prison Architect bring you sorrow?
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, so like we had a LAN party kind of thing for intern's birthday, and a bunch of people came down here with their computers, and one of our friends had Prison Architect on his computer. Oh my god!
Yeah.
So they booted it up and they were playing it. This game, like I fell in love with it when I was watching them. And I'm like, oh, I need to buy that, but it's for early access, it's a little too much for me. So I was like, I'll just wait. But it kills me because I want it. But then also there was this lulzy thing where they left the computer on and forgot about Prison Architect. They went to bed and woke up like late the next day.
Had a riot, everybody dead.
Yeah. Well, see, no, somebody had died and there was a lockdown. And so then they were trying to bring in new people, but they were all stuck in, like, I guess, the lobby and not in the prison.
Oh, no.
And so there's, like, hundreds and hundreds of bodies just at the front door of the prison.
Oh, my God.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
If you like that game, you need to check out the one Weem turned me on to, RimWorld.
RimWorld. Oh,
RimWorld?
my God.
It's like Prison Architect.
I played that for hours.
Yeah. You're a survivor out of a spaceship crash, and you're on this world, and you have to. It's just like Prison Architect, but instead of like trying to manage a prison, you're controlling these survivors and trying to get them to, do things like farm and survive. But you don't have to. It's not like Minecraft where you're sitting there controlling them. It's the same top-down kind of view, and you give them a task. Like, okay, I need a farm. I need this built. I need that built, and then you hit play. Or whatever, you let the time just roll the whole time, and then they'll go and just do it. You don't have to worry about micromanaging them. But people keep comparing it to Prison Architect. It's very similar, and a lot of people like it more.
The art style is very, very, very similar.
Yeah, so
it's awesome.
That's what I've been doing videos on. I'm obsessed with it.
Yes, I was playing it for hours, and then I finally all of them died. Oh, because a group of pirates came in and killed them all.
Oh my gosh!
And there's nothing I could do. I had one girl left, and she was running around trying to heal everybody, and then she flipped out. She got all like mentally flipped out, and she started wandering around all over the place. Like, well, what the heck? And then a thing popped up saying, there's nobody left in your colony, but if you like, you can keep playing. And so I clicked the keep playing button just to hope that maybe something could happen. And nothing happened. She just wandered off and died.
So like
of
somebody will just
starvation.
walk along, be like, "Can I be a
Just
part
died
of this?"
starvation. I don't know. They offered the option, so I thought maybe something could happen, you know? So I just sat there and
No.
watched the game in high speed for a while to see what would happen.
No, it's
I had all kinds
Maybe
of stuff.
something could
man.
happen.
That was a great little world I built.
yeah. You always kind of learn from
sucks.
mistakes, though. That's one of those games that you get progressively better at as each playthrough
It's
goes
fun
by.
though. It's so addicting.
Like with
It's
this
so
second
freaking
playthrough, I'm really organized with everything, all my stockpiles.
How much is RimWorld?
It's affordable. I gotta look.
Is it more affordable than Prison Architect?
Yeah, I'll look it up for you. It's not on Steam just yet. They're trying to get.
Okay.
I believe they're still trying to
'Cause-
get greenlit.
I can't tell you how much I was so close to pulling the trigger on that, but I was like, no, it's just way too much
See,
money right now.
I thought it was just like your standard RTS. You got to move the characters and make them get wood and all this different stuff, right? So I was going,
Yeah.
it's just like anything else. But this has got character to it. I mean, these things, these people, these little people have personalities. It's hilarious.
It is $30 right now. They're still getting their funding, but developer very approachable, and a lot of people have this game. It's excellent.
It's freaking great. It's a great game. I'm gonna stream it. I want to stream it. That would be a fun game to stream.
It's a good streaming game. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I haven't streamed it, but I know from like the playthroughs I do, I ruthlessly edit my videos. I try to get them down to a certain length. And I'll record for about 20, 25 minutes before I realize, okay, it's almost a half an hour now, and there's no way I'm uploading a video that long. So I have to wrap up my recording and then ruthlessly edit it down. But if it was a stream, I'd probably get a lot done.
Now, maybe the developers are going to be similar to the ones with Prison Architect, because every time Prison Architect, they have a time when they put out just bugs, where they go through a whole list of bugs and the patch is strictly for bugs, and then they make a video of it, and then they have content patches. They're kind of like doing the Minecraft thing, you know, where they keep adding to it. And that's basically how the game. It's not really early access. It's pretty much a complete game. I mean, they just keep adding stuff to it, and they fix bugs, and they're constantly doing it. I mean, I think every couple weeks they got something going on, you know. So
That's the kind of early access I can get behind. It's a complete game. They're just adding more.
Yeah, and the developer, he streams sometimes where he's streaming stuff, and you can actually talk to him and chat. Really, really cool guys. I think I'm hoping that RimWorld's going to be kind of like the same idea, where they're going to put it out, and then they're going to just add content, because there's so much more to add. Like, for instance, the research doesn't work, I guess, right now, right?
I haven't really messed with it too much. I never get that far.
I got a research table and everything else, and I tried to get research working, but it wasn't working. So I'm guessing that's not implemented yet. But they have a whole researching thing where you can research things and upgrade and get better stuff. So there's going to be a lot to this game. This is nothing what we played, I can tell. So
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one early access I'm looking forward to seeing complete.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And Prison Architect is another one I got to pick up, but now with RimWorld, I don't know. We'll see. I did want to get to this before we run out of time here. This game that popped up. You guys remember Goat Simulator? We've mentioned it a couple times now. If you don't know what Goat Simulator is, it is what you would expect. It's where you simulate what it's like to be a goat in a suburban neighborhood.
There's a lot of like copycat simulators cropping up now because of the success of that, like Tiger Simulator, Snake Simulator, Cow Simulator.
It started out as a joke. It was just a joke. They weren't really going to make a game.
Yeah.
But people said, "No, you got to make a game," and so they made it. They made a game.
Well, now they're releasing a free patch update called Goat MMO Simulator. And it's where you play in what seems like an online MMO, but it's not. It's very easy to believe that this is going to be an online game, but it's free. It's not going to be online. And you can play as, like, I think, 6 different classes? Including
there's 6
a microwave
different
with legs.
All right, a microwave with legs that shoots out pizzas.
And even you told me this before. I didn't even think of this. Even the chat in the game is fake.
Yeah.
It's just like
And it's so
it's a giant
typical of
spoof.
MMO. They got gold sellers in there and everything.
Oh my gosh. Are you for real?
It's awesome. I swear to God. Oh,
That
it's
is
funny as
awesome.
hell.
It's just that's one of those games where there is so much hilarity to it. You have to sit there and really like focus on it if you want to get the full
There's a
effect.
lot. Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs. Tons of Easter eggs in that game, man. Tons. Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. I
It-
can't wait. 3 days.
Yeah, it's Goat Simulator is $10 on Steam, and then this pack's free, and I'd recommend that game to anyone. It's I can't believe that gold sellers in the chat room. They mentioned they make fun of especially World of Warcraft. You can get up to level 101, which is one level higher than World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
You can.
So they say they're big competition to World of Warcraft right now.
Yeah. You could be like just all these stupid classes that have stupid abilities, and I don't know. It's you got to just look at it. I can't even explain all the things. There are
It's got quests. It's got everything.
There are dozens of quests.
Yeah.
They said don't expect a lot of content, but be cool. Come on.
Hopefully this ain't ruining it for anybody, but there is actually an eventual. If you find the spot where you actually get out of the game. You're in the game, but you get out of the game and you go into this server room. And it's all the servers for the MMO. And if you knock them all down, it breaks the game. It's freaking hilarious. And the whole game just stops. It says error cannot complete, and there's a yes or no, and I didn't see what it said, but oh my God, it's just yeah. So
I'm reading the bullet points. Its level cap is 101, one level higher than you know what. Probably not tons of content though. But don't hate, be cool. Stay a while and listen to Dumbledore the Grey and Twistram.
It's got tons of stuff to do in there, though. I mean, even without it's got tons of quests, but it's like there's so much other things you can do on the side. There's little tiny things that are happening that you can do. So
Faction
just like with
warfare
regular
between goats and sheep.
yeah.
MMO simulation so good you'll think it's real. There are even elves and dwarves like in that movie.
Can I be a duck with a party hat?
What? Say what?
Can I be a duck with a party hat?
I don't think so.
Oh.
You could be a goat with some kind of hat. Little wizard
Yeah,
hat.
they
I don't
got-
want to
oh,
be
yeah,
a
yeah.
goat. I
It's
want to
Goat
play a
Simulator.
duck.
It's
Get
the
duck
whole
Yeah,
simulator.
well, it's
Yeah,
the
it's
MMO with classes.
Well, goat
Yeah, but
classes.
and the reason for the microwave is because WoW had the pandas. That really had
Yeah.
nothing to do really. So they came out. Okay, well we'll have a
Oh.
different thing.
I get it now.
Oh man, there's some funny. So they got a guy named Steve Works in there, and when you complete his quest, you get the iQuest because of Steve Jobs. Get it? iQuest. Steve Works is his name. Anyway, there's a lot of little things like that in there. So you get the iQuest achievement.
Well,
crazy.
we're getting close to the end of the show here, and there's a few things I want to hit on before we get, before we're over. Let me just hit this real quick.
Let's hear from the Noob Nation.
All right, there's a question in chat, and I wanted to talk about the voicemails, but Darkwater's asking, I was waiting for Super Smash Bros. 3DS for like 9 months. And I had to pre-order it and pay off and everything. I was so excited for it, but when I got it, it lost all appeal to me within like a week. And now I'm kind of sick of it. Is there any way to make sure that I get my money's worth of enjoyment before buying a game? It's an
And that's
interesting
why-
question.
Yeah, it is, and that's why I thought it would be great if. Or there's another thing that I think they could do is. I mentioned the demos.
Yeah, it had a demo. It had a demo
Oh, did
that
it?
let you play up to 30 times as much as you wanted with like one map and 4 or 5 different characters. It even had multiplayer. You can get 2 people to download the demo and fight each other.
Wow.
It was a really nice demo.
He said he loved Brawl too, so he loved the one previous to it. So it wasn't like the last one burned me, but I held on to false hope that this one would catch me again.
You know, I have the same problem with Super Smash because I really, really wanted this game. I'm still wanting the one for Wii U as well. because I like the living room experience of Super Smash, being able to play with some friends over that don't need to own the game. And that's like the biggest problem, is because a lot of people still don't have 3DSs, whereas back in the day, everyone had a freaking GameCube. Like, everyone. And it was really easy to play Super Smash Bros., because everyone freaking had it. Everyone knew what to do. But it wasn't online. Again, living room experience. This is the first handheld Super Smash, so it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, intern, like, his biggest complaint was it's really kind of tiny on the screen, and it kind of gets a little frustrating compared to the experience on the TV, because you kind of really easily lose yourself, and you can't see what you're doing.
Yeah, especially in games with like a lot of NPCs and stuff.
But to answer his question, for me personally, I've just learned my gaming habits. Like, if I'm huge into a multiplayer on a series, I'm okay with dropping the money to get it right away, especially if the game has never burned me, like being bad. But if it's single player only, I don't ever buy it pre-order, ever, not anymore. You just kind of have to learn your own habits and really be honest with yourself. Like, am I just psyched up from the hype that the game has created, or am I truly excited about what this game is? Do I typically play games like this? Am I currently interested in games like this right now?
Yeah.
Also, you can watch
if the answer is
YouTube
no,
and streams.
Wait.
Yeah, I would suggest watching YouTube and streams too. I always do that.
For a 3DS game, though, it's kind of, it's hard to
Yeah,
do.
that's
There's only
really
so many
hard to
people that
find.
can play it on stream, because you have to do all this stuff to your 3DS. But yeah, Super Smash is one that I didn't expect me to like. Already, I'm so over. But I think part of the reason is because of all these awesome new games that are coming out, which we're about to touch on here in just a sec. But it's one of those games that's good to have, because when you finally do get around to playing it again and more people have it, everyone all of a sudden has this game. Like, for example, if I want to play Mario Kart 7, I know that Jemmy has it already. I know that Haller has it already. I know that Mojo has it already. We could all get together and play Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS because it's older now.
And hate each other forever.
But everyone has it. And Super Smash Bros. Is still new. It's full price. It's... but it's one of those games that Super Smash is still timeless. Like, I could go back and play the GameCube version and have just as much fun as I would having...
I feel like that was the best version.
A lot of people feel that way, yeah. I liked Brawl still, and I really love the little challenges and stuff in this new Super Smash Bros. I really enjoy those, like just the little random mini games. But I wish that the achievements meant a little more to me, and I wish the money you earn meant a little more, because you earn all this crap, but none of it means anything. You're just filling up a trophy case, and that's not. I'm okay, great, but what does it mean? What does it all mean? So that's kind of my feeling on the new Super Smash. I need a little more depth, I guess, if that makes sense.
But how do you get more enjoyment, or make sure you get the full, make your money's worth when you buy a game and you find out you didn't like it as much, or maybe you liked it more than you thought you would? Like, how do you make sure? Do you force yourself to continue to play to a certain point, or how do you filter?
I don't
like
know.
things
so
that
games.
you're paying too much for.
There's so many games I've wasted money on, and I just like your
me
example
too.
of find your gaming habit, because that's when you're gonna know I shouldn't buy this because I know I'm gonna get over it in a day. But Super Smash, I would never expect that to happen with, so it's kind of an interesting case, because it's one.
So you think that was a game that threw us all for a loop?
Yeah, I think so. I think just I love the fact that it's on handheld, and I love that it's multiplayer online, but I don't love the tiny screen, and I miss the living room experience, and I'm glad it's coming out for Wii U so soon. But I don't think I'm going to stop playing the handheld version when I get the Wii U version. I just think I'm going to play the Wii U version a lot more.
Is there any way I can like put the GameCube, or not the DS version on the TV, like screencast it?
I don't know. I don't think so. There's definitely a Wii U Connect feature, but I don't know what it does yet. I
don't want it to buy a Wii U to do that. I just want a dongle that I like stick in there and put on the TV.
There might be
plug
something
it
like that. There's a whole thing on PlayStation TV that they have this device that's supposed to do just that for the Vita, but the resolution gets all distorted when you put it on a TV.
No, I can live with that.
But yeah, I don't think they'll make anything like that unless you buy a Wii U. Oh man, unfortunately we are out of time, but real quick, I wanted to mention there's a whole bunch of new releases coming out tonight. Even Grand Theft Auto 5 releases for PS4 and Xbox One, and Little Big Planet for PS4.
What?
Little Big
When's the
Planet 3.
PC release though?
I don't know. Hopefully soon. But we are getting both Grand Theft Auto 5 and Little Big Planet 3, and they're already pre-downloaded. So I'm very excited because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be putting Little Big Planet 3 videos on my channel, because Sony now has a built-in like PlayStation 4 video recorder and an editor built into the system, so I can edit the videos too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So expect content, and I'll try to remember to put it on Everything Noob as well, so you guys can see it. But that's coming here in like an hour, so very excited about that.
You can't wait, huh?
But unfortunately,
I know what you're going to be doing.
We got to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. The Everything Noob podcast. We're here every Monday night live at 10 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch. And you can catch us after the show, not live, audio versions and the video versions, usually uploaded by Tuesday morning, but we tend to get them out even earlier than that. iTunes, Stitcher, everythingnoob.com has all the links for that. And you know what? We'll just let the outro do the rest.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Everything Noob podcast. Hit up everythingnoob.com for our show notes, blogs, YouTube and Twitch channels, previous episodes, and even a t-shirt store. Please game responsibly, and we'll see you next week.